Hey, welcome to another Marble Mouth edition of this week's exciting read Adventures. Man, what a day! What a day in the White House today. I mean, do you believe that crap? Um, um, Zelensky, man. I'm sorry, pardon me, but I am on Team Zelensky through all this. Uh, Trump, or F-face felon 47, he expects the Zelensky to bow before Luton and take it up the you know what from him. And Zelensky, he's he's he he's got the card. He doesn't have the cards. He's got the cards, man. He's got the cards. He's got the all those minerals, man. He's got the lithium and all this stuff. Yeah, and Trump, and FA felon 47 just expects him to hand it over, with no concessions. I am proud of Zelensky today, to standing up to that bloated idiot and his organ grinder monkey sidekick Vance. I mean, geez, who asked for his opinion? Oh, I saw the stories. I kind of know what's going on because I watched the stories. All right. Okay, whatever you say, pal. Uh, I mean, are you happy you voted for that piece of shit? Are you really happy you voted for that piece of shit? This is him. This is him. This is how he does things, man. He expects to be a mob boss, to kiss the ring and everything, but it ain't working in his favor this time. So anyway, we got comic books to talk about. We got some good comic books. Damn good comic books to be talking about. Today's the last day of February, so keep that in mind. There'll be a new black light entry on the calendar next month. Um, Captain America: Brave New World is out, and it's just coincidence that it falls into place here. Um, this is Captain America, for a very important issue of Captain America and the Falcon, and this is issue 139. Well, according to the synopsis, it's a very important issue in the Captain America lore. It's a not only that, it's a special landmark issue as Cap begins a brand new life. Lee and Ramita, at their greatest. Captain at the crossroads. And what of the Falcon? Okay, well, this issue is when I started reading Captain America and the Falcon as a very wee young lad. I believe my first issue of Captain America and the Falcon I read was either 147 or 148, where the sleeper awakes, or it might have been a couple months. 143. When I think I was on the tail end when the Falcon still had his green costume. It was a double-sized issue in 1971. For some reason I had that issue. I don't know how I got it. I wasn't really allowed to have comic books back then, but somehow I had that issue. That was, when Marvel was making the transition from these sidebar dresses to the elongated letter dresses. And you still weren't, and of course the Falcon I knew had the white and red costume, and of course Red Wing. But in this issue, I always knew that Captain America was, in his secret identity, a cop. And I don't know how he got that way, and I don't know how he got to ride the position of being a beat police officer, but this issue explains it here. And it's actually it's Captain America going on an undercover mission to find missing people in this certain precinct, including cops. Now, we verge further on, and of course this is a Stan Lee and John Romita production. John Romita, after a heavy stint on Amazing Spider-Man, wanted to try out other titles, I guess, and then you saw John Romita on the pages of Fantastic Four and Captain America. Well, he was mostly doing covers. There's some interesting notes in here. I don't know who who they're referring to is Morted Hero is uncredited. But there's a thing about the Falcon, as you know, who's the star of the new Captain America film, Brave New World. Look at, isn't that beautiful? Isn't that artwork just gorgeous? And also, John Romita, he just drew the most gorgeous black people too. I mean, how can you not be in love with this Pam Grier styled girlfriend that Sam Wilson is trying to hit on here? Let me see. Back in the day, you could order from Marvel stationery. Okay, here we are. Here's the Falcon. His costume. In this issue, the Falcon introduces the new Hawk hook. This issue, this grappling device, propelled from his right gauntlet, allowing him to swing from rooftop to rooftop. He will continue to use this device until he receives wings in Captain America 176, which was incidentally developed by the Black Panther. I remember having that issue. Don't have it anymore. Bunch of guest stars galore in this story. Falcon faces off against Shield. Go back to that girl for a second. I just found something on this girl that John and you have developed here. We gotta go back. Okay, so this is the first appearance of Leela Taylor. She will become Sam Wilson's romantic interest and will become a long-time recurring character. Her last name is revealed in the pages of Captain America 188. Okay. All right. Moving right along. So Falcon's is fighting Shield, and they only brought him up there. They only threw the tractor beam on because they can't find Cap, and they suspect that Falcon will be the person. And Falcon goes, "Well, just call me or something. Call me, or just send somebody down there to ask me. Why you gotta go through this whole rigmarole of capturing me and tasseling with you guys on the bridge of your helicarrier." So Captain America, has gotten his assignment from the feds here to pose as an undercover police officer, and he runs into this guy. Oh, shades of Jack Kirby here. So this is Sergeant Muldoon. He's introduced in this issue. He's a police sergeant who berates Steve Rogers similarly as Sergeant Mike Duffy did during World War II. Muldoon will be a recurring character until Captain America 159, which is revealed to be a bad guy. I'm sorry. So, but here's John Romita, further note from John Romita Sr. Muldoon is an update for Sergeant Duffy. Romita used Jack Kirby as the model for the character, and that was quoted in an interview he did for Alter Ego magazine's. Shall I say Roy Thomas's Alter Ego magazine. Let me see. Some other stuff in here. This is the first appearance of Captain Rogers, Steve Rogers, as rookie New York police officer. Later in issue 157, it's revealed that police officer Rogers worked in the 3rd precinct in Manhattan, as seen when Sergeant Muldoon enters through the front door of his precinct to talk to his captain. The writing on the glass door is Captain America in issue 157. During his time as the new NYPD police officer, Steve Rogers, while undercover, worked the stages of a police officer, foot, then remote motor patrol. Each police officer gets a designated shield number. It is never shown what his badge number is. However, in issue 600, when Captain America was killed, his personal effects was being auctioned off. Sorry. One of his items was his NYPD police officer badge. The badge was purchased by a sergeant who is shown in the flashback as a rookie officer who worked with Rogers. Towards the end, you see Rogers' badge is framed and displayed on his desk. If you look closely, you can see the designated shield number is 459. And that's in Captain America issue 600, and which an issue I do not have. So here, Cap is going through some flashbacks. The time when he, because Mulder reminds him of his old sergeant, his old drill sergeant, back in the days of World War II, and we get to the mystery here of the disappearance of the strange people running after he runs afoul of a street gang who wants to welcome Rogers to the neighborhood. Well, Mrs. Rogers' neighborhood is not what you would see on PBS. So all those records you can order. That's how I started out collecting records. Let's see, changes to Captain America, and we find out that it's none other. Well, he finds the police officer, and they've been turned to stone, including the Reverend Garcia that who he was talking to after he fought the gang in the alleyway. So he finds the missing officers, and none other than it's a diabolical plan hatched by the Grey Gargoyle. And wherever you do, don't miss next issue, and what we do miss next issue, because for some reason I skipped ahead. I think I have the issue, but I have a lot of Captain America and Falcons, but I'm pretty sure I have this issue. So here we go to our second feature, Captain America, issue 141. By the way, this is not a Captain America themed. It's a Captain America Avengers themed episode, but this is like part of my Heavyhitters club. This was an expensive issue here. Well, not expensive issue per se, but really it's priced higher than it's normally listed, and I'll show you why in a minute. This is issue 41. This leaps forward an issue here. Apparently, the Grey Gargoyle is trying to obtain this special mineral that can subjugate people to his stone will, whatever. Just a side note, I think Jeff Lynne from ELO stole the ideal of the song "Turn to Stone" from the Grey Gargoyle. I don't have concrete proof that it is, but it just seems that way. Let's see, there not only must Cap face the fury of the Mad Grey Gargoyle, but even the Falcon has turned against him, featuring Nick Fury and S.H.I.E.L.D. and action. So, notes, and this is a very important note, because obviously we didn't see what happened, but Red Wing is absent from this story. Falcon's pet Falcon. He was turned to stone in Captain America, issue 140, and he will next appear in issue 142. This issue features. Anyway, that's mainly. But let me show you why this issue was $40 for this when it's actually worth half that. It's called the Unholy Alliance, and I always love the scripts when they list the scripts in the Marvel comic. Scrumptiously, the script by Stan the Man Lee, aristocratic art by John Dingeling Romita, incandescent inking by Jolton Joe Sinat, and lots of little lettering by adorable Artie Simek. It was the lettering never lost its style. And throughout the 60s and 70s, it's that Stan's mark on these stories when he did the credits page. Cap riding a motorcycle. I like this maneuver here. You know, he's got a construction crew in his way, and he's just, hey, you know, we're just gonna, you know, defy gravity and run our bike through along the wall, and said, hey, how's your work, fellas? Just thank your stars for centrifugal whatever that word is. Centrifugal force. Gotta say it fast. And Falcon has been turned to stone. But for some reason, this is a special potion by the Grey Gargoyle that makes the Falcon not only be stone, but have movement. So it's not fully a fully formed statue here. And so they, Falcon and Cap get into it. You know, for Cap and Falcon, I mean, wasn't there I did a Captain America and Falcon themed week where the Falcon was also fighting Captain America in an arena that he was brainwashed by the Red Skull. That's in the future somewhat. There's the illustrious Sharon Carter, Nick Fury, and Grey Gargoyle has taken over the helicarrier. And I would have loved to have one of those portfolios. We're getting to the middle of the book, and I'll show you why this issue I had to pay $40 for. And this was not Brad Sloan's books. This is his pal Cal Dodd, who owns a shop in Huntington Beach called McFly Comics. He had this issue. And I was curious as to why he priced it so high. No, his mid-range is because selected issues of Marvel Comics were inserted with Mark Jewelers in ads, and you can, and mostly it appealed to servicemen who wanted to propose to their honeys to wherever they're stationed, and they got some genuine low-priced jewelry here. Like, look at it. Imagine spending $150 for a ring like that in those days. The Montego for $200 there, and you get a big section right here. Look at this section. Oh, yeah. This is insane stuff here, and this is from National Diamond. I'm not sure. Mark's Jewelers, I guess they were a sort of a network of jewelers that specialized in mail order. I'm not sure about the origin of these guys, but look at these sparklers there. You can $280 here and $475. I mean, this was cheap. Look at Miss India for $150. No, I'm not. Yeah, here you can see how it caters to the military. You made it military man. Your credit is good at National Diamond sales. So, and you get all that. But here's the best part of this ad here. Look at this, panties, women's panties, in a children's comic book. Isn't that amazing? You get your kids can get a Captain America story while mom gets her new lingerie set, and of course you can finish your GDD at home. So anyway, back to the story. The panels get the battle gets more intense, and the panels get more bigger. See the helicarriers heading towards their secret mountain base headquarters, but somehow they're not. Their shield is not getting through to the command center of whether to let him in or not, and rather than give the password, I guess this Grey Gargoyle is going to decide to crash the helicarrier inside there, and that's where they're keeping the evil formula in that mountainside hill there. And this is quite the battle because Falcon he's trying to break hold of the spell from the Grey Gargoyle, and they're fighting on this little raft, on this helicarrier raft, and just good stuff here. And here's what he's turning back. Sam Wilson's turning back to flesh and bone, and there he is. But the Grey Gargoyle, he gets the upper hand. He sneaks in, and it's to be continued next issue. Do I remember how this story ended? Because I have the issue, but nothing comes to mind right now. Oh, here's another exciting thing here. This guy, Alan Hayes from Troy Mills Road in Parsippany, New Jersey, had a entire full-page letter. This guy must have been somehow related to me, man, or some distant relation, or it must cost some of his DNA, because I became a popular letter writer for Comics Buyer's Guide. That's how I got my start. So that's amazing. Someone from my old hometown in New Jersey got a letter printed. Okay, now check this out. This is a weird story. How I got this issue. I did not buy this at all. This was a comic book my roommate left behind. And I assume he got this mail order because it came in this. It came in this regular thing, and it was in this thing, I guess, for shipping. That's pretty. Why you need these G's, these CG G's, or how do you go, CGGs, whatever those. Wow, my mind's blanking. Those shells, wherever those shells are. Yeah, slabs. Why you need slabs when you got these? We got lovely things like this, where you can take the book out and look at it. You know, instead of encasing it in plastic with screws in it, and you can't take it out and just sit and look at it. Comic books are not made to be looked at from afar. I mean, you know, they're not your baseball cards. You know, baseball card you can read the front and back. But a comic book, you can't just crack open a case, and it costs a lot of money to encase those mothers, man. I don't see why. I can't fathom why people want to do stuff like that to their books. I think it ruins the books. And there are videos on YouTube that claim that there are lawsuits going on because of these cases actually ruin the books more than they enhance the value of them. So. This is a great raw issue. I scanned it to Hip Comic. It came out $80 as a fine plus. You know, you can see a little tick there, you know, here and there, but it's a fine looking book. My roommate left it behind, and he said, I called him and said, hey, you left this one book. He said, keep it, and because it's a book I wanted you to have anyway, because I always said this is one of my holy grails of finding a really good copy of this book. And I can never find a good, reasonable copy that has this much whiteness to the cover. So this is called Galactus Found. It's classic. And the pages there are pretty white too here. So I got it as a fine plus. It's worth $80. So on Hip Comics. So the grid synopsis to it. It goes as punishment for giving into the warrior's madness. Thor has agreed to join out into space and seek out Galactus so that he may learn of the world devourer's origins for his father, Odin. Although Odin is remorseful about sending in his favorite son out to his possible death, Odin sticks to his original decree, and Thor departs shortly thereafter, wondering when he will ever return to Asgard and Earth. While on Earth, Balder has recovered from injuries sustained by Loki. He is discharged from the hospital, and he is given a note written by Dr. Donald Blake, informing Balder that he has gone on a mission to find Galactus, deciding to stay on Earth and protecting it while Thor is away. Balder is shocked to find that the Warriors 3 have also traveled to Earth to help Balder out. They decide to learn troubles on Earth by reading to the newspaper and learning that an oriental country has been secretly detonating nuclear bombs, which has caused much uneasiness around the world, and in America in particular. Having read the story, the quartet of Asgardians decide to learn more about the situation. As Thor continues to travel through space, he takes time to relax. However, this relaxation is short-lived when his ship is suddenly halted by some tremendous force, and the Thunder God decides to exit the ship and find out what it is. While back on Earth, in a far-off eastern country, scientists begin the final tests of their newest creation, the robot known as the Thermal Man. They let loose the robot and train their best men and weapons against it, and much to their pleasure, the robot performs excellently and proves to be near indestructible. Shutting down the robot with a sonic missile, the soldiers then load the robot up in the missile and fire it over American airspace. Naturally, the U.S. military blasts the missile out of the sky, unaware that they have unwittingly unleashed the Thermal Man on American soil. Back out in the depths of space, Thor exits his ship to find that he has been halted and brought into a planetoid by Galactus himself. At that, Thor ignores Galactus' explanation, and he seeks out not to battle and tries to attack, but to no avail. Galactus explains that he has grown tired of Thor's chase of him and decided to tell the Thunder God his origins. Engulfing Thor is a Vista cloud. Thor begins learning that about the past of Galactus. He seems that ages ago a ship had crashed on a distant world, being observed by one of the Watchers. This Watcher investigates the crash, finds that the entire crew has apparently been slaughtered by a strange plague. As Thor sees the events unfold, Galactus tells the Thunder God that this is just part of the story, and then begins to tell the tale from the beginning. Let's skip ahead. There's a lot of stuff in here. There's Odin. Balder being discharged from the hospital. Let's see, the Guardians, Warriors 3 play a prank on him. Balder doesn't like it. I'm going to get to this point, and we get to show you the Thermal Man here. There's the Thermal Man, which I guess is it's worthy of a key issue, because that's what Hip Comics lists as a key issue, the introduction of Thermal Man. Let's get to the point. And there we go. We meet Galactus. Galactus is not that really big in here. In fact, let's see. Here's the origin story. Okay, let's continue from here. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Thermal Man reaches New York City. Let's get to there. Okay. Okay, so meanwhile, back on Earth, the Thermal Man reaches New York City as the Warriors 3 and Balder spend time in Donald Blake's apartment, getting accustomed to mortal living. The overweight Volstagg finds the most troubles adapting, finding that most Earth furniture cannot withstand his massive weight. They are soon witnesses to a news report about the Thermal Man's coming attack on Earth, and the Warriors 3 and Balder decide that the menace is they must face. Oh, yeah. There's something to note there. Yeah. Well, F-Face fell in 47. He's got the same problem at the White House. They have to find special furniture for him because his massive tub of French fried lard belly cannot sustain sitting in the chair. I mean, if you saw that conference today between Zelensky, F.A. Felon, and his pet organ grinder sidekick, J.D. Vance. You can hear the squeaking of furniture in there because it's that fat ass of Trump's. Yeah. So anyway, finally back on the distant planet, Thor revives. Thor revives from the Visimist, and after some consideration, Galactus decides that Thor is ready to learn the full story of his origins, which is continued in another higher price issue I have, 169, which I have. This was I was finding this issue. I had trouble finding a good copy of this issue because I have the other parts, and I needed, and they're all in very, very pretty condition, very fine condition, and leave it to my roommate to find something that I've been salivating over. But anyway, I have it now. So anyway, here's the final one. Let's see what we got here. This is a big creme de creme. I read this. It took me 2 hours to read last night. I kept nodding off in the beginning of it, and the only way I could sustain from not falling, so he was getting up, and okay, so I'm trying to balance this $200 copy I bought off of Brad Sloan in my hand, and eating nachos and cheese in the other without trying not to get it on the back or anything. So I was pretty good. I mean, you dip the chip in quietly. Yeah, because it's the only way I could not keep from falling asleep was eating that and smoking a cigarette halfway through the book. So this is a this is called an epic Marvel tale, man. This is a 49-page story, and synopsis. I don't know if I can get into the synopsis of this. It's a 5 parts. Each part is broken down. The monster's master plan of the Mandarin, and I gotta work. I gotta log in back from work. But that was pretty cool. They had this interesting pin-up page, you know. But it's basically that the Mandarin is out to take revenge, and I guess he recruits the Masters of Evil or so. And it's also the merging of the two teams of the original Avengers with the Captain America led team of Giant Man, Wasp, Pedro, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, Hawkeye, and Hercules. Well, the three with Avengers issue 16. Captain, Thor and Iron Man and Giant Man and Wasp left to go. They had enough avenging for. They wanted vacation, so Cap had to recruit a substitute team, and that was Hawkeye, Pedro, and Scarlet Witch. Hercules and Giant Man came back after a while, and Hercules joined. But the team hadn't really fought together as a huge 9-unit before. So this story sort of reinforces that idea. I'm not going to read the synopsis. It's just basically it starts out with Tony Stark developing a special ray gun and using a prison as a press conference. Held a press conference, which was not very smart because somehow the animation of power finds its way to Living Laser, and Living Laser just harnesses that power, and therefore he finds out that the Mandarin, he's planning on teaming up with the Mandarin, and that causes Iron Man to shit iron bricks and recruit the rest of the team, when Mandarin is in the Mandarin's lair, the Mandarin grants him a new costume. There's an illusion of Mandarin uses an illusion of the Submariner to unite the other people he's recruited, like Swordsman, the Execution Enchantress, and Power Man, and Swordsman. And it's going to be a battle royale between everybody. It's epic. It's fun. It's gigantic. I mean, it's a whole gaggle of guest stars in there, like Nick Fury's in it. There's. I would say this is written in a similar format as when Stan Lee wrote the first Amazing Spider-Man Annual, the Sinister Six. There'll be a chapter dedicated to battling each villain separately, and this time it's 2-on-2. In the second part, it's Swordsman and Power Man against Giant Man and Wasp. Okay, where there's a sword hanging in there, they can somehow activate a sword to come and cut down. And I'm just going to blow through these pages. Let me see. There's a nice shot of Iron Man. This is Don Heck, by the way. This is all Don Heck's work. The third part was Hercules fighting against the Executioner and Enchantress and Scarlet Witch along for the ride. Usually, I think one of the things was doing these by parts was pitting other heroes, villains against other heroes other than their counterparts. I think this is the first time the Scarlet Witch and Enchantress have fought each other. Executioner is easily defeated by Hercules, and they're whisked off. And somehow the Mandarin can, when he senses that the battle's losing, this is much like the Avengers Defenders War, I guess. Yeah. Let me see. The fourth part was the Unicorn against Thor and Hawkeye, but there's a wrench thrown in there. A little surprise. Villain makes appearance in here, which was not even hinted at or on the cover, and that is Ultimo. Now that's a giant Iron Man foe right there. So Thor has a rough time of it because in the ensuing battle, his hammer is somehow he loses the hammer, and back then when the Marvel rule was, the same thing goes on with Aquaman. 60 seconds. 60 seconds. If Thor doesn't have his mallet with him for 60 seconds, he reverts back to Donald Blake. It's the same thing they came up with. Same adage that Iron Man adhered to. If Iron Man, if Aquaman's out of the water for more than 60 minutes, he begins to suffocate. I don't think that's the case anymore, but it's always the 60 thing. 60. It's like Hour Man. 60. You can take a pill, pop an hour and a half powers for an hour. But in Thor's case, it's only a minute. But it's still the same math. What's going on here? And in the final part, it's Captain America and Quicksilver facing off the Mandarin himself, and it's got something with some giant diamond that can shoot rays, cause destruction over the world, and it's just a clear, no nonsense story one of the Mandarin's 10 destructible rings can bring about a hate ray that causes the Avengers to turn on each other, and all of a sudden it's Avenger versus Avenger, and it seems like I'm just noticing that it's old Avenger versus new Avenger, and to find out which fraction of the team is more superior, and it's really it ends with the Mandarin being sucked out into space, and that's always not a definitive death. No, not in Marvel lore. And a nice little farewell page there, and we got an unusual little couple of biographies of Don Heck and Roy Thomas as a bonus pinup of Hercules. A tour of Avengers Mansion, and more Avenger females, and the original Avengers and the new Avengers. And that's what they were called back then, new Avengers. But anyway, what an epic book that was. There's gonna be one of my first in this series. I got a bunch of Marvel heavy hitters to do. And I got the books there that cost me more than $100 or $200. Now I think the big focus was one I spend up to $400 on. So this was a $200 book. 80, 20, and 40. So anyway, that's it for this week. Stay safe out there. Don't let World War III happen in your back step. You know, if you're a vote Trumper, Trump voter. Sorry. And we'll be back with Avengers. So Avengers will be back for next 2 weeks. There'll be a bunch of Avenger books that I will be talking about. 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, 2.5 weeks. Oh wait, bye.